Welcome to Mashed In. I'm Sean Ryan.
That was good.
Co-host.
Matty Luke.
And in the studio today, we have Frase and Grum from Exit Brewing.
Good afternoon.
Hello there.
Talking about some interesting things. So, yeah, just if you're tuning in for the first time, we also have a podcast that is on most things. So Google. No, it's good. It's there's no new ones this week, I don't think.
No.
Unless I haven't checked iHeartRadio. We might be on. That should be the next one we conquer.
Yeah, actually.
Or beg to be on. So, yeah, you can grab us on iTunes. You can also get us on Google Podcast and Spotify. If you're just searched Mashed In Live. Also, we're on Twitter at Mashed In Live, Instagram at Mashed In Live, and at Facebook at just facebook.com/mashedin. And if you want to go to our website, mashedin.fireside.fm is where you go. And for YouTube, you need to search for us.
Yeah,
we still...
Because we don't have a special URL yet.
Don't have the vanity URL yet.
No.
So if you want to help us out, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also leave some ratings and reviews on iTunes or your favourite podcasting app so people can find us. Cool. We'll get into the local news. Matty, what happened to you this week?
Not much, actually. Sorry, I might have to leave it at that, really. Just been busy at work, that's about it.
No killing some killer waves?
No. Not that great this week for waves. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I had a good Father's Day on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah. So I got a beer book, which is good. Luke Robertson,
Yeah.
Robertson, yeah. His beer book, as I predicted, that would come in. I said, I asked my wife, you've been listening to the podcast? She goes, no, I don't listen to what you do. So, bit of support there. Maybe I should get her to subscribe.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, so I had a read of that. Well, I read the page that my beer's on, which is good. So they got all facts right there. And I got some slippers, pajamas, stuff like that. It's good. I don't know. It's
Dad stuff.
Which is nice. Went to a morning tea with the other dads in the family, and like my wife was getting like scones.
Yeah.
And I said, just get all the white chocolate and raspberry scones because they're the best ones.
Yeah.
And she got half of those and half date ones. I'm like, why did you get the date? She goes, because it's a healthy option. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want them. Yeah. And the others are going to go, and then no one's going to eat them. And sure enough, we turn up. Those white chocolate ones gone immediately.
Yeah.
So, what I don't understand why.
Stuck with the dates.
Why do you just buy the good thing? Don't buy the healthy option.
Yeah.
Just always buy when you're bringing something.
Or only the healthy option.
Only the healthy option.
Yeah. You gotta
I guess that would be a better. That'd be a better way. Grum, how about you? How'd you go this week? Did you have a good Father's Day?
Yeah, I did have a good Father's Day. Spent it with the family, as you do. Had pancakes for breakfast and
pancakes are good.
Steak for dinner, which was awesome. Just ran around, went down to the beach with the kids, and to a park, and it was a good day.
What beach did you go to?
Just down in Frankston.
Sweet.
So, and actually took the kids up to Mount Baw yesterday.
Oh, right.
So their first time at the snow. So a bit of tobogganing and snow fighting and.
Where's Mount Baw?
Out Gippsland Way.
Oh, okay.
How far a
How
drive
far
is that?
It's right at the bottom of the range, so the further south one, I think.
How long does it take to get there?
2.5 hours from Frankston.
Okay.
That's not too bad.
Not that
That's
far.
Yeah.
Because there's also so it's probably about the same distance. Oh no, Mount Bull would be further.
Bull is further.
Yeah.
Bull would be a
Bull
lot
is
further.
closer to 4.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Phrase, how about you? Did you have a good week?
Yeah, it was all right, I guess. Just had to cope with the usual phrase levels of incompetence of various varying degrees along the way. But no, we got through the week all right, I think. So it was all right. So went to the footy Thursday night, so that was a nice end to the week for me. So go Tigers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you've got your bar in Bridge Road.
That's right.
Uitgang.
Well,
Outgang?
it's really out. We say
Outgang?
outgang. It's more like Uitgang if you were Flemish or that, or actually a really good imitator of a Flemish accent, like I'm not.
How appropriate is that name for that language as Flemish? because really the words sound very Flemish.
I think they've got a pretty good sense of humour, the Belgians. So they do that pretty well. I think they sort of, they knew that was the rest of the world would probably piss themselves laughing.
So how do you pronounce it normally then?
I just say outgang because
Outgang.
Okay. Most Australians are pretty, not how do I say this?
Fucking outgang, mate.
Pretty much, that's it, mate.
Yeah.
Something like that. I actually, it's always a pleasant surprise when you actually meet somebody who's actually been to the bar and actually can pronounce it right. Because normally it's like, you don't even bother correcting him. It's like, we don't really care what you say, but it's like I met a guy in Queensland I don't know, it was a few weeks ago now, and he's actually been to the bar and pronounced it correctly, and it was wow, this is, and you're in Queensland, wow. So it's even, I just say hi to all my friends in Queensland.
Is the job today to try and piss off everybody? Or?
Yeah,
start off with just all Australians are, and then couldn't find a word. Let's call it, they're not very lingual.
Hey, there you go. So you've had more coffee than me today, I reckon. If you come up with that.
There you go, yeah.
Last week we had coffee beers, which was good, from Mr. Banks, I think.
Yeah.
Someone brought in some Mr. Banks.
Seafood or something.
Yeah. They got a good porter.
Yeah.
Good,
okay.
How Australian is that, porter?
Yeah.
Porter. But yeah, so you've got the footy playing in your bar.
Yeah, we pretty much, we do like the footy in there all the time. We had a really good event last week. We had a basically 8 fresh IPAs that was a blind tasting for people. So basically every keg was less than 2 weeks old.
Oh, beautiful.
People knew the breweries involved, but they didn't know which tap was which. So it was tap 1 to 8. So they had to try to guess which brewery matched with a tap number and then vote 3, 2, 1 on their favourite tap sort of thing. And then so there's so it's pretty good fun. We did it last year. It's been very, very popular. Sold out both times pretty well. So and you get to drink 8 really fresh IPAs, which is never a bad thing, really.
Did anyone guess them all?
No one's ever. Well, 2 people got 5 out of 8, which is really good.
Yeah.
Last year there was about 4 people got 6 out of 8, and when Brendan O'Sullivan is only getting 6 out of 8, and I say only, no one else is going to get 8. No one's getting 8 basically.
The other really tricky thing is, yes, you know the brewery, but you don't necessarily know the beer that they've supplied.
So you haven't said it's this.
No.
Okay.
Which maybe we should, because...
Yeah.
Why? Make it hard.
Don't make it too easy.
Most people are getting 2 or 3, and it's a bit...
How many Neepers did you have?
None.
None?
No.
Nice.
Well, that's the thing. We had a couple of new releases. So we had the Brute from
Hop Nation.
Okay.
And West Coast from Kaiju.
Oh, nice.
So... Yeah.
So no one was ever going to get it.
Well, there was so many people fishing though. It was like there was people because it literally the Hop Nation one got released at their brewery the day before. So we were very fortunate to get a keg. We were the only place apart from their brewery that had it, and it was all these people like when you're walking around chatting to the punters during the day, they're like, oh, yeah, I noticed there's a Brute here I can taste. Yeah, I know Hop Nation released one yesterday. And it was like, oh, did they? Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe you should have gone down yesterday and tried it. Then you would have known if this was it,
Yeah.
Have you had many of the Brute IPAs?
We had the Wolf of the Willows one.
I've had that one.
It was interesting. I must admit, it's a style that probably right now I'm still getting my head around in terms of
what it is.
Yeah,
because it's my thing as well. It just seems like it depends very much on what the hop they've used because there's just nothing else in it.
No, it's
and that's the point. The point is that it's nothing other than that hop. So it's essentially if you steep hops in water and drink them, that's what you're going for.
What do you mean? Don't you do that?
No, I do.
I was going to say,
but not many other people do that. I speak to.
I thought all my friends did that.
I wish I did that the other day. I did a test batch of I've got a new pale ale coming out, and I was doing some test batches. And first test batch went really, really well, and I gave it to some people, and some people that don't really like beer gave me some feedback, and I took it on, which I never should have. That's
that doesn't sound
probably
like
the dumbest idea I ever did. So I'm like, okay, well, I might change it to make the people that don't drink beer happy, because that's obviously the market you want to go for. Because in your head, you're always like, this will cross over. This will be the thing that everyone drinks. You know what I mean? So I used a hop that I've never used before, and I used a lot of it, and it is probably hands down the worst beer I've ever made or tasted in my entire life.
Well done.
I've anytime anyone comes to my house, I'm like, you got to drink this. It is horrific.
If you get a really funky name for it, though, you'll probably sell a bomb. So.
Oh, there you go.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the thing.
exactly.
I've thought about it. I'm like, can I just put this out as like the worst beer in the world? Like, you know, put it in like a 20-litre keg or something and just be like, I'll give it to a bar and be like, you can have it for free. It is the worst beer ever.
I just want to see the feedback.
I just want to see the feedback. I just want to, and call it on tap, the worst beer in the world. And just like see if anyone can drink an entire pint of it. You get, I don't know, you win an entire case of proper beer.
No, I was going to say, if you drink the whole pint, you get another pint of it for free.
Yeah.
And then a bucket to vomit in,
That's
basically.
right.
It's,
Steve Hendo.
Oh, Hendo.
Yeah.
Old mate
He
Hendo.
says, came here for the frage.
Frage,
Frage.
not the frage. Thanks, friendo.
yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
It's the French version, the frage.
Yeah, I like it.
Very linguist.
Very linguistical. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Hendo.
Give it time. I'm sure we can get some levels of frage out of me at some
Yeah,
stage by the end of
at
the
some
time.
point.
It's early days. It's early days.
Yeah.
Once we get to beer news, I'm sure the rage will come out.
Let's talk about my favourite beer festivals and things like that. if you
Oh
want.
no, we're definitely gonna get into beer festivals.
Or travellers.
Yeah, Travellers. Yeah,
That'd-
Travellers are
that'd
good.
do
Yeah. Particularly on
Ben
VMI.
Doherty says, I'd try it.
Oh, the terrible beer.
Yeah, the terrible beer. I've tried
Right,
it.
do you want a keg of it? I'll send it to you. It's seriously the worst beer. Like you tasted it. What
It's
did you
pretty
think?
savage, yeah.
Which hop was it?
Calypso.
But it's
Have you used Calypso?
No.
Yeah,
it's like nothing you've ever tasted. You've got to bring it in though. It's as a
Yeah.
challenge kind
I'm
of
kind
thing.
of
It's-
disappointed we don't have some to try today. Now, really, it's
I'll bring. Yeah, all right. I'll bring some. I'll come to your bar. I'll bring. I'll put.
I'll give it
I'll
to
do
all my customers. That'll
No,
be
no,
great.
no.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just bring it for you. I'll bring it in. Yeah, I'll fill up a bottle and I'll just bring it over. It's pretty. It's. I should have put some in the fridge.
Yeah.
So you could taste this horrific thing. So, and I'm like when I first drank, I'm like, what have I done? Something's gone wrong in the brewing process or whatever. So I started reading the tasting notes of this hop, of the Calypso hop, and what it does. And I'm like, yeah, that's all of these things. I probably should have read that before I chucked it in the beer because none of these flavors are good.
Don't put this one with this one
Yeah.
or this one with this one.
Well,
and
what
then
it
you
was-
just put them all together.
No, it didn't. You know, I haven't got very much. I don't think there's a thing that goes out that says you can't put this hop with another hop.
Did you make a beer with only hops?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. A brewed IPA. I boiled them for an hour, mashed in with hops. It was just a big hop mash.
It's just like
Substituted all the grain for hops.
But it's yeah.
hops
So
and more hops.
that's it. That's all it is. It's just a full hop bill.
Every hop.
Yeah. Yeah, the notes on it are like, pear and tea and stuff. It just comes mega astringent pear tea is what it tastes like. And because it's
Wow.
like in a pale ale, there's not malt kind of carrying any, like, to kind of carry it through. So all you get is just this very astringent tea flavour coming out of this beer, but it is truly terrible.
I'm more than curious.
Yeah?
now.
Okay.
So,
All right.
definitely bring some of that into
All
the
right,
bar.
I will.
Absolutely.
I'll bring it in with a label that's got a skull and crossbones on it, and I'll be like, "This is the worst beer I've ever." Like, it's part of me's like, "All right, well, you tried something," and part of me's like, "You really should have known better, you idiot. You've been brewing for enough time to not read what the fuck a hop is. Just go, no, I like that name, but." But what I did, I tasted. Odyssey does a Calypso. I think it's an IPA that they
I
have.
think it's just a pale.
Or
But yeah.
pale Calypso, and I really, really like that beer. I don't think they use Calypso. If they do, it might be one pallet because I don't see how the abomination I brewed could possibly be. Like and every flavour that you're like, well, that's disgusting, is exactly all the flavours in this.
The other
in
thing
this
they're
hop.
doing with the hop descriptions now is saying everything.
Oh, I
So
know.
the new hops come out, it's like it's citrus and it's
Yep.
pine and it's
Yep.
like all the descriptors you can think of for a hop. And it's like,
Yep.
yeah, it's all of them. It's like,
Yeah.
Who are you trying to sell this to? Come
Fresh grass.
Everybody, it sounds like.
on.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what everyone wants. It's citrusy,
but
juicy.
but also pine and herb
and pine and herb.
But yeah, they go. They're saying but half the time they're saying this hop does everything.
Yeah.
It's like, okay then.
Yeah. It's a bittering hop. It's a mashing hop. It's
Mashing up.
It's a new thing.
yeah. I'll put the recipe
There's
out.
gonna be so many beers come out now. It's just gonna be just hops now.
Yeah,
No, it's
just the
not.
hop beers. Yeah.
Maybe you should have a run a competition and see amongst home brewers that just see who could brew the worst beer.
Yeah.
With this up to see if they could actually challenge like use yours as the benchmark and say,
Yes.
can you
Can
brew
you
a
make
beer
a
that's
worse
worse beer
beer?
than this, and have a blind tasting panel, kind
Yep.
of thing. I'm not going to say I'm going to put 8 kegs of it on at the bar or something like that, but we could
there's
possibly do that.
New event.
Yeah, just bring a small. Yeah,
Just terrible beer.
that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
That would be fun to do.
Yeah, I think so.
A really Can you brew the worst home brew? Though you'd have to have it. You'd have to make sure that it's brewed bad. That it's not just they brewed in a rusty old bucket and it's just infected.
Yeah.
like it's all intentional.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
Someone just
Yeah.
brings
Yeah.
like liquid Vegemite in.
Yeah.
I made this. Well, it tastes like I'm drinking blood. That's might be shitting the same later. The saying is nothing can kill you that lives in beer. I would disagree after drinking this. But yeah, so when so that was the last test batch I made before I made the full commercial batch of it. So it was a very nerve-wracking brew for me going, I really hope this works out because, maybe the first few I fluked, maybe. Obviously, I didn't use Calypso in this beer at all.
I'm glad you. It's really nice you're telling me this after I've already committed to get a keg of this for the bar too. Like I'm a little bit. Geez, do I really want a keg of this?
Well, you can taste it at Beer Insider. That's where we're launching it, and then you can do the deal that I don't know if we can say the name of the bar, but there's a bar when we sold our first sale to them. They just said, I'll take 2 kegs on this date. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want anything. Just on this date, make those 2 kegs. I gave them samples and everything. She goes, I haven't had a chance to try your samples, but I'll order 2 kegs on this date. If I call you, if I try the samples and I hate it, I'll call you and cancel the order. If you don't hear from me, deliver it on this day. I was like, holy shit. So for 2 weeks, I'm like, is she going to call? And I'm like, do I put the order through? I'm like, I don't want it. She goes, I don't want you to call me and ask me. Just if you don't hear from me, I want it delivered. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I put it in. Luckily, the beer stayed on tap for 2 years, I think. So it went well, but she obviously liked it. But yeah, I think that was the strangest order. And it was one of the very first sort of order. I'm like, is every pub going to be like this?
Yeah.
It's a very strange way of selling beer.
There you go.
You get to be on the other side of it now, don't you?
I know it's really good fun now.
Do you enjoy being a pub owner and have people coming in?
Look,
and
it is. It's good.
Scraping.
I like to think of Frase being the positive side, just assuming everything's going to be great until proven otherwise. So I guess that's how you order your beer.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Yeah, it depends. Depends.
Was this bar Outgang you spoke of?
No, I'll say it was the Fox.
Okay.
The Fox Hotel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, that was the thing.
No,
it was
nice.
like I don't want. I'll taste the thing when I get time. Yeah, just deliver it if you don't hear from me.
No, well, look, at least with those, you'd know where you stand at that point in time, and that's kind of thing. It leaves you a lot of places you can get fucked around with, as you know, and that sort of thing. So actually being upfront like that, that's all right. I don't mind that kind of thing, but yeah. So, but no, it's good. I do like being on the other side because you do get to. You meet a lot of people, a lot of different punters and everything, which is great fun, and introducing people who aren't necessarily massively into craft into it, but also you get to take the piss out of other breweries' reps as well, and that come in as that's a great part of my day, kind of thing when they come in.
Because you've been on that side.
Oh,
too,
yeah. So now you're covered to sell me some
exactly.
beer. Oh,
Yeah,
awesome. Oh, good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, excellent. So, yeah, so it's good. It's good fun. We generally get good. And generally, because I suppose, like a lot of people who come in at reps, they probably know me anyway, so they probably know how to, whether if I'm going to be a complete dick, Frase might tell me to, or something like this, or they can generally tell by just looking at, or the first two words that come out of my mouth, whether I'm like, I really want to talk right now, or anything like this, or now you should sell me beer, or I'll just put this here and I'll speak to you some other time when you're not in so much of a raging thing where you want to kill people and things like that. So I'm not usually like
The Frase.
No.
Yeah, that's kind of the Frase version occasionally.
This is something I've spoken to you a lot about the beer rep stuff, but this is a question I've been meaning to ask you. I've never asked you. Have you actually ever had someone from Lion or AB InBev come in?
From breweries that are kind of represented by, I guess, yes, I suppose the answer. I mean, nothing specific like actually trying to sell you Carlton Draft or Tui's or something like that. But me being a suspicious, like if I don't know who owns the brewery or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, and like I'll obviously Google and that kind of thing. So, because I mean, obviously we have a pretty strict policy in terms of philosophy at the bar where we only put on independent Australian-owned breweries, obviously as well as our beers. So that's one of the things. So there's been a couple of times where they come in and you go, oh yeah, and you kind of it's funny, there's it's always I'm not going to be a complete prick to anyone, but I will sort of say, look, this is what our philosophy is, and this is it, sort of thing. So yeah.
You haven't had anyone try to offer to put a tap in for you?
Oh no! I'm really I want that to happen because I really like that's the bit I'm missing.
You want to know what the value of a tap is?
Exactly. I want to know because this is really good inside info. So I'm actually excited for that to happen one day, kind of thing. So yeah. So hopefully it will. So anybody out there who actually wants to come and pretend to sell me a tap that I won't actually buy, then please come in and come in and do that sort of thing. So. Yeah.
That would be really interesting to find out how much an actual and actually see a tap contract and be like,
yeah.
Oh, that's how it works. Yeah. All right, yeah.
Been doing this all wrong.
Yeah.
We should be buying taps.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Grum, do you work in the bar much?
No.
Or do you just
just
production side?
Just the brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the brewery out in
for the IPA event, I cooked some sausages.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, you did another time as well. What was the one I was at? You had some sausages. Put the shit out of my mouth. What was that?
Better than the half raw ones that I usually feed people.
I think that's what you said. You were like, hey, don't complain, at least it was cooked. I can't remember what event it was. It was something that you had going there.
Yeah. We cook sausages quite a bit.
You do,
so,
yeah.
So it could have been, anything. That's like,
yeah. And you got a lot of dogs there as well. It's a dog-friendly bar.
Very much so, yeah. We've actually got a lot of regular dogs out there. In fact, there's probably dogs listening to this and watching this podcast. I guarantee. I'll just say hello to Frankie and Archer,
woof, woof,
probably,
and,
sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
so the brewery that you share with Kaiju out in Dandy South, Dandy South, massive.
Yep, huge.
And have you guys have expanded?
We have
recently.
It was start of the year. So we got the factory out the back, and we've converted that to a packaging side.
Okay.
So we tried to fit it all into the one factory, and it just it wasn't fitting. We couldn't take deliveries or package and have stock sitting around. So got the place at the back. So all the packaging goes on that side. It works really well.
Yeah. So just like bash a hole through the wall and
a few holes, yeah.
A few holes. just rev up the forklift and just go.
Damn, wish we'd have thought of that. What could possibly go wrong? We've got a human-sized hole so we can get through, and then we run pipes through. So the beer basically just goes through stainless pipes from one side to the other. So all the fermenters and brew house are on one side. The bright tanks and canning lines on the other side.
Okay.
The beer just travels through the wall.
So have you moved the bottling line over there too?
The bottling line
still
did get moved over there, and then we sold it.
Oh.
No one wants bottles anymore, apparently.
No, that's very true. I think I've brewed my last batch of bottles.
Yeah, I think we'd used the bottling line 3 times this year.
Oh, wow.
So it's just sitting there. So.
Yeah. So who's the sucker that bought the bottling machine?
They're going to use it for water, maybe kombucha.
Okay.
Things, so yeah, not another brewery.
Yeah. That's cool. So obviously all your stuff's coming out in cans now.
Yep.
Where are you getting? I switched to this is information Sean wants to know, not information. I'll ask you later on about where you're getting your cans because I need to get some cans. Like, where are you getting the cans? That's
Trade secret, mate. Trade secret.
No, it was going to lead into. I hope it's not these pricks because they're really doing my head in.
Well, there's only two.
Yeah.
Vizzy and Orica, and that's it. So
Okay,
50-50 chance.
Yeah. Do you go direct through them though, or don't you have to go through another company that's their intermediary?
No, direct.
Oh, okay, good. It's not the pricks I'm not fucking angry about that.
All right. Okay.
There's a new segment. It's just Sean wants to know.
Oh,
Sean Vents.
Sean, yeah, it's yeah. That
That's
could
a
be
whole show in
that could be a
itself.
whole show. I'm getting pretty yeah. Gypsy brewing is not fun. It is not a good path. I would highly recommend nobody follow in those footsteps of gypsy brewing. It is shit house.
Fair enough.
Yeah, is that it? Don't bring the show down. Sorry about that. It's,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
we'll get a brewery going soon, which will be good.
Yep.
And then we can package out our own stuff, which is good. Yeah. That's about it that I've got from that. Let's get into some beer news and see if we can get Frase to rage up a bit.
Join the vent.
This is some interesting news that of a new beer. So I don't know if you guys have heard about Moa's new beer from New Zealand.
No,
What they're
I don't
doing their
think
beer. Okay, so there's a lot of weird shit that goes into IPAs. You know what I mean? People, will put like coffee and blood orange and
All
other
kinds of
different
fruits
fruits and
and, yeah.
vegetables into things. So Moa's made a beer from deer velvet.
It's what?
Deer velvet.
Why?
But for starters, can we clarify what that actually is?
Yeah.
So deers grow velvet on their horns, and then that velvet calluses and becomes bone, and then their horns get bigger, and that's how their horns grow. Is that sort of process? But if you shoot a deer before it's finished that process, you can actually get the velvet off the horns and make a beer out of it. Well, you can put it into a beer. I don't really know how much flavour.
So
it
they
adds.
going around at Mo, are they actually killing deer, like deliberately
Yes.
to actually manufacture to make this beer? I'm
Yes.
curious.
It's called the Red Stag Wheat. Oh, it's not an IPA, sorry. It's a Red Stag Wheat beer. Because you really want that flavour of the deer horns to come out.
It's always something I thought that's been missing from wheat beers. There needs more deer velvet.
Yeah, so-
in wheat beers.
Well, wasn't there a brewery that was going with deer semen, like stag semen?
I have a part of
Was
my
that us?
brain that
I don't
probably
think that was us.
I don't think that was we're going to do that for a launch. It was going to be a special beer, I think, for one of our favourite venues or something like that.
Yeah, so they shot the deer on a hunting trip with the director of one of southern China's largest beer distributors, M99. You can probably guess where all this deer velvet beer is going.
Russia?
Yeah, that's right. Russians can't get enough of deer velvet beer apparently. China is so the
They're
Chinese
mad for it.
market is mad for deer velvet beer.
Okay.
What does that even taste like?
Probably nothing.
Yeah, I would
probably
assume
not.
By
Yeah,
the time
exactly.
you brew enough of it, yeah.
Yeah, probably nothing. Yeah.
It's just leave the poor deer alone. Like, what do you really need to?
Pretty sure no animals really should be killed, or extra animals should be killed in, the manufacture of that, just for the sake of, I guess, a product that you're probably not ever going to be able to taste in the beer anyway. It kind of seems pretty stupid, really, and kind of mean.
It does seem
kind
very
of
mean.
like deer. I mean, I've never really met one, patted one or anything, but they
Yeah.
look nice. And they've never hurt me.
I was going to
so
say, a deer's never done much to me.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's their new beer that they're putting out is the deer velvet beer. But yeah, it seems it's a bit of a strange thing. So clearly the Chinese market is mad for this sort of thing, but really, like, why Why would you do that? Like, why
So
would
that
you-
it makes beer news and
Yeah,
it gets
exactly.
read out in podcasts,
Exactly.
and,
I
and then
guess
people
so.
know, oh shit, this Moa Brewery, I better check them out. They're the ones with the funny bottle, like the bottles that have the thingos, aren't they?
Are they?
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure the bottles are what thingos.
Well,
I don't know what you're
they've
talking
got
about,
little.
Is that?
I don't know.
Yeah. They're ribbed for your pleasure.
Ribbed for pleasure.
Yeah?
That's it. That's what I was
that
looking
the-
for. Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Is that? I
The
think it
bottle's
might be the
ribbed.
The bottle. Well, it's
looks
not
like
really
it's-
ribbed. Yeah,
it looks like it's been shut out by a reptile.
Yes, yeah, that's right. It actually looks like a reptilian skin. Absolutely, the top of it. Yeah, which
Maybe
is,
they're made of reptiles. Maybe that's their.
Well,
that's their thing.
maybe
They just-
everything's animal
Yeah,
related with them.
that's their thing. Moa's just like
All the animals died
Yeah.
in the making of this beer.
Okay, yes, yeah, that's it. So we've killed dinosaurs. We've got other sort of reptiles, maybe snakes, deers. Now
Don't
what's
forget
next?
the baby
Yeah.
seals.
Oh, of course, you got to have baby seal.
so they
IPA,
called
surely.
that's why they call their brewery Moa,
seal
Massacre of
IPA.
Animals. Massacre of Animals Brewery.
Ah, nice. I like it.
How,
I like it.
how many things can we make a whale beer? Let's.
They're bigger in Japan, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you guys? This is something we talked about last week, and you guys. So you guys sort of got your. I don't know if you got your start in beer, but you guys were drinking a lot of beer in Europe. So you guys sort of met in Europe.
we were alcoholics. Is that what you're
Alcoholics in
trying
Europe,
to
yeah.
say? No, we met in Melbourne.
Met in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
Long time ago.
did you both go to?
Yes.
Was it Scotland,
England.
England?
England, yeah.
Okay.
Just below.
Just below.
yeah.
Okay. The reason I'm saying Scotland is because you guys were there for the early sort of days of Brewdog, yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
And all that sort of stuff. Have you heard of the new venture Brewdog's got themselves into?
Are you going to mention hotels or something?
No.
Like this? Or no. What's this? Okay.
There's a new one again today. Every day there's
Yeah.
a new
Yeah,
one. So I
that
don't
was
know.
last
That's like-
week.
Sorry,
that's
I
like-
only checked the news 30 seconds ago. I'm sorry.
It's like trying to keep up with the Prime Minister. So
the
I don't-
hotel, yeah, exactly.
New
Well,
Prime Minister,
that's
new
what Brewdog's
Brewdog.
done. Brewdog's decided to take over Australian Parliament.
yeah.
It's going to be called Australia for Punks. And
and we'll be led by a dog. So
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
which is still better.
yeah.
Probably a lot less controversial and won't say so many stupid things. But no. So Brewdogs, they went into the hotel industry, which I can understand. The doghouse, it's a good idea. You drink beer in a hotel, I guess.
I'm not,
I don't know.
I actually don't. I actually think it's really antisocial. I think the whole I don't like the concept because
Of what? Of a hotel?
well, if you've in your room having taps, I mean, the whole concept about beer should be a social thing. I mean, this
Yeah.
is just my phrase, kind of half serious thing, but it's like,
Yeah.
so what are you going to do? You're going to sit in your bloody hotel room by yourself and pour yourself a beer and go, yeah, this is really cool. I've done it once. I've stayed in there once. It's like it's completely opposite of what beer. Fine, have an awesome craft beer bar
Yeah.
in your hotel. Brilliant. That's terrific. That's a great thing. But actually have taps in your room. It's both to me gimmicky and antisocial and that kind of thing. So it actually gets away. That's my thing.
I think they were putting
Okay.
taps in the shower.
They were putting taps in the shower.
Which I'm fine with that because that's an
that shouldn't be-
antisocial
yeah.
place to be.
Yeah,
I'm by myself anyway. I may as well have a beer. I can drink with other people later on.
No, I hadn't thought about that, but I think they do also have taps in the room as well. Like,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's I
Taps
didn't
in the
think about
shower
that.
and in the room.
Yes,
It's
anywhere
taps-
you are, you can.
I can never
drink a
find
beer.
a tap when I'm angry.
That's right. Yeah.
But no, so they've done that. I kind of understand the hotel side of things because you can have a bar. You can have I think it's near the brewery, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Given where their brewery is, it's not exactly a renowned Scottish tourist destination
Yep.
without the brewery. So actually having something there's so many people do things beer tourism-wise, so they
that-
want to actually go to visit.
The hotel's in America, though, right?
Is it?
Oh, is it?
Is it?
Or is it now?
Oh, well, is it near... Well,
I
is
thought it
it
was
in...
in
is it in North Carolina? Or is
Columbus?
it... Where's
Columbus?
Is it Columbus? Yeah.
Is it
Columbus,
Columbus?
Ohio. Yeah, no, it's Ohio. That's right, yeah. Why did I say
Oh.
North Carolina? I know it was Ohio.
Oh, so it is in the States.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I don't-
But now
I don't
none
know.
of us really...
Yeah, no,
Big-
none of us know.
So none of us really. So this whole news thing is
Yeah.
that we actually should probably
Whose
get
turn is it to
together.
make-
Probably,
and
yeah,
actually
probably work it
Whose
out.
turn
try
is
to
it to
work
make
out
something
shit.
up?
Yeah.
I'm
So
good at that.
the hotel, wherever it is, that's one thing.
Yep.
But they've also announced that they have launched a video on demand service. So they're going up against Netflix and Hulu and all of those guys. Yes.
But-
You can $5 a month. You can subscribe to Brewdog TV, And
so you've got to pay for it.
Yeah, $5 a month, and it's Brewdog shows.
Well, no, hang on. Now, is it the TV show Brew Dogs that they actually did that was a commercial one on the...
Well, that got cancelled, so
yeah,
they've done another one.
So they've done it independently themselves. Okay,
Yeah.
so is it the same kind of show concept about it, or
I believe so. I haven't paid the $5 to check it out.
The budget would have
been pretty big
for the
Yeah.
having seen the show, and that was a pretty
Yeah.
It wasn't like a low cost venture. I don't
No,
think that
no,
that show
exactly. Also, that show, I remember watching it, just going, well, that beer's not going to work. They're going to throw that one out. And then at the end, they're like, oh, we brewed 50 litres. And at the end, it's like 300 people drinking like pints of this beer. It's like, they clearly haven't brewed that beer.
They haven't done the maths. So.
Like, this must be the most magical fermenter I've ever seen in my life. Must be the
Jesus fermenter.
Yeah, the Jesus fermenter. It must be something about being brewed at the bottom of the ocean that makes it compress down and like supercharge the beer so that when it finally comes out, it's able to be to fill 100 pint glasses.
Well, the only way to do that is just pour foam. There you go, guys.
The foam beer.
Mm-hmm. Foam beer. Or just brew totally like real alcoholic and then just like dilute as you're going out, like
The ready mix style.
a ready mix, yeah.
Like
But no.
Coke
So they've
machine.
got their TV station,
Okay.
the TV network or whatever. So they're rebooting their Brewdog show. They're
Okay.
also doing one about entrepreneurs. So they go and talk to other entrepreneurs.
Is it like Dragon's Den style, or is it like, you know?
Don't know. They have very limited information. I've been trying to find out what the shows are, and a lot of it is like, how about you just subscribe and you can watch these shows?
I did. I mean, I must admit, I enjoyed the Brewdog show.
I did too.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a lot of really, you know, there was some episodes that were, you know, it was,
wasn't as good as the Dogfish Head one, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I really
no,
love the
I've seen
Dogfish Head show.
Yeah, that was
because
pretty. That was pretty cool.
He's awesome though. What's his name?
Sam
Sam,
Calagione,
yeah.
yeah.
Some reason I got Tony in my mind, but yeah, he looks like a Tony.
Someone was saying, oh, you know, this. They were talking to me about. It was actually Trav Nash was talking to me about Dogfish Head because he'd seen something. He saw that sounds interesting. Let's brew it or something that he does, and he's like, yeah, this guy, you know, he's a craft brewer and everything like that. And I'm like, well, craft in America maybe, but I sent him a photo of his brewery. I'm like, this is his thing, and he just sent back, wow, every brewery needs a steampunk treehouse.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so they've got that. They've got Zane Lamprey or something, the Three Sheets guy. Goes around drinking different things, and a lot of cooking shows.
Okay.
Is currently what they've launched on the network. But
Okay.
why? It just seems like a real big misstep. Is there nothing else
Look,
to conquer?
I would suggest that somebody said no to them and cancelled their show. And they've gone, wow, you know what? We'll just buy our own thing. So
Exactly.
Once you get to that point, just go, yeah, you know what? I don't need you.
Yeah.
It's just done out of spite.
No,
Yeah.
because we
You
can.
should just call it the Spite Network.
The spite
We've got
network.
because you can money.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that show's on Esquire or something. It was actually I liked the show.
No, I thought it was good too. Yeah, I must admit. Yeah. No.
Some of the things they did were like, some of the things they were really interesting, and some things were just like, well, you're just taking the piss now. You know, I actually did enjoy the homebrew side of it, of like, because you can see some pretty funny homebrew setups, and it was just this engineer they hired to make the most ridiculous homebrew setups that would, like, you know, counterbalance on trains.
Oh yeah, the train one was good. Yeah, I like that.
The one that were going at like 100, like trying to brew the beer, the fastest beer or something.
Something like that.
And it had to like counterbalance, so when they went around corners, it wouldn't spill out. So it would tilt out. It was really, I like that as well.
It was very interesting watching the boil at that point in time. That was quite dangerous at that point in time. and getting the gas, because didn't they have to get there was a special carriage because they just assumed that they could bring the propane gas or something, and they had to work around something like that. They basically had to take a bunch of crap out of the carriage or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah,
but
for the tanks.
Yeah, well, it was for something to do with a fire or something like this, because if you've got the seats there, and things catch fire and they possibly could burn and kill people, maybe. But,
just a flaming
which I
train.
think they probably wasn't the... Well, that would have been good publicity, though, if that had happened.
It would have been an amazing publicity shot. Just an on-fire train and the Brewdog guys like hanging off the side of it. That's probably what they wanted to do originally. That's probably exactly what they were thinking. Martin's like, we can set this thing on fire. That would be amazing. Just no one talk about the propane.
All right.
Till we're on the train.
So Ben Doherty again says, so some quick research turned up that deer velvet, sorry, it's really small, it's hard to see. Deer velvet is commonly used for its restorative qualities.
Okay.
There you go.
And is apparently great for the immune system.
So is it like trying to counteract the beer?
Is it medicinal beer, is it?
It's good for you. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it's got to be one of those things. It's definitely something that's been missing in my diet for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go out and hunt
Is that
some
what the
deer
doctor
when we
said?
leave.
You need some more deer velvet
Yeah,
in your
definitely.
diet?
Well, I've noticed actually around the streets of Richmond, we got too many deer running around, so I think I might just go and
Just chuck 'em in.
Yeah, I'll just go and just go
I say we go with a rhino horn beer.
Rhino horn. Yeah, well, no, that's because doesn't that have other properties?
Yeah.
Like rhino. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, no.
Again,
That's a good point. That's a good
You've
point.
got to counteract the effects of beer.
That's
no, there you go.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, I like that. That's it. That's a good
Right.
idea.
I'll get on it next week.
What, like, just like lay off animals, really.
Yeah.
If you see any rhinos around Richmond, can you shoot it for me? That'd be great.
Yeah,
Just
I
in
think, I
case.
think I've got a gun.
There's a giant.
do that, yeah.
There's a giant mural of a rhino.
Yes, there is. Cafe 3121.
Yeah, it's got to try to find
just
out
up
where
the
they.
road from the bar. That's right. Yeah,
Just got to try to find out
good
where they.
observation.
It's just that shooting at a wall at a mirror.
Just put that wall into a beer.
Yeah.
I put a picture of a rhino in the beer.
Yeah.
Well, you could do that. You could brew with pictures and be like, well, it's got some sort of meaning.
I got pictures of hops.
That's for the next picture.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome. The next
just
Gabs
water.
beer. It's a picture beer. I brewed with all pictures of things.
Just some tea and some pears.
This is not. This is something that's interesting. This isn't actually beer related, but it is whiskey related. But first, I'm going to play you something. This is now I know we can't show videos, but I want to play. Let's see if any of you can guess what this song is.
That's Metallica, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can pick the song.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What are they playing?
It's not Metallica song.
It's a cover.
Yeah.
Really? When doves cry.
Oh, is this on the last tour when they were going around and they were right? Because I'm
What's the
usually
deal
up with
with
my
it?
Metallica covers. I'm usually
Yeah.
pretty good with, and I'm like, but then they were just like whenever city they were visiting or whatever they were playing.
That's right.
An artist from that kind of thing. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
so I'm guessing that was from Philly.
I think yes, it was from Philly. Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay. Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah, no, that's where he's from. Yeah.
So
No,
I
that's
think
Philly.
someone someone went up and went, Lulu is the worst thing you've ever done. They're like, hold my beer.
Yeah. I actually I do have a slight confession. I don't hate Lulu.
You don't hate Lulu?
No, I actually really like it's. I mean, it's obviously not the most listenable record you'll ever have, but it's the artistic merit. I think basically transcends that personally.
I appreciate Lulu.
Yeah.
I don't like Lulu, but I appreciate.
I haven't listened to it in a long time. Put it that way, and it's not something I'm going to rush and put on at the. In fact, I might put that on a Spotify at the bar and empty out the bar at night. That's one way to get rid of.
That's the last. That's the last track.
Yeah.
Well, do you know the story behind Lulu, which actually explains why it sounds the way it does, right? So Metallica write in the studio. So they come in with a bunch of riffs, they start playing, and they kind of muck around, and then they go, okay, that was mostly terrible, but that bit was good. Let's expand that, and then they write in the studio. They come up with their songs, right?
And then Lars changes it.
And then they all go home and Lars edits it all.
Complains about
I made up
bass down.
This, it's going to be much better doing it this way. That's it. Yeah.
That's right. And then that's exactly how it goes. They all play something, and then Lars tells them which bit he liked.
It's just
and
drums up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drum machine up because he can't fucking play. So Lou Reed, the complete opposite, right? He has everything ready to go, and then he doesn't want to spend time in the studio. So they all get together and they start recording. So they do the first song. They're kind of feeling it out and playing things kind of like and trying to work out what could go together. And Lou Reed's doing his vocals over the top, and then they'd come in and stuff. So they finish it off. They're like, okay, cool, let's do it again. And Lou goes, nope, that one's done. Let's move to the next one. And that's how he wrote the album. Was like they'd do their thing, and it was like one take, we're done. Like that's it. You come with everything or nothing. Right. So that's why it's so chaotic and weird.
That would have really freaked them out.
It did,
because it's so how they don't
exactly. So they were really struggling because they were like, what the hell, like. Oh, we haven't even worked out anything. So they're trying to like come up with stuff. But Lou Reed would just come in and go, yep, that's all right, done. Let's go. Move on. Next one.
Nice.
So it's but Lulu it's a very hard listen. It's harder than Sananga, right?
No, that's probably a fair statement.
There's a video on YouTube that's someone played the whole of Sananga but using a garbage can. And it sounds note perfect for the drum track.
Oh yeah. Well, that's pretty much it, isn't it? That is the sound.
So Metallica has released a whiskey. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Blackened whiskey.
Yeah, that's right. I did read about this last. In fact, it was about a week ago. I think I read about it. Yeah.
And they're playing. They play heavy metal to it.
Right.
While it's, I don't know, while it's in
the barrels,
in the black barrels,
right?
Because it's blackened.
It's called blackened, yes.
So it's aged in black whiskey barrels, and they play the song "Blackened" to it the whole time it's fermented. Right. But like for a good whiskey, shouldn't it be there for like I don't know, at least 8 years?
Yeah, several years,
maybe longer.
That's a long time to be playing black. I mean, I really like Blackened as a track, but I mean, Jesus, that'd probably drive me insane.
Could you imagine the guy that's having to work there and just listened to it for 12 years solid?
Yeah,
it's like mental.
No, that's interesting. Although it does depend because in the climate and everything, it's not like it might be it's like Australian whiskey supposedly can mature much quicker than what in Scotland because of the temperature and all that sort of thing. So,
Well, Rogue do a whiskey that they say is ocean aged for a month. Now, I don't know if that means that they ocean age it for a month and then age it the rest of the time away from the ocean, or if this is essentially moonshine.
Or it's aged near an ocean at some point in time.
It's the 1 month part of it that I'm not a big fan of understanding. I think whiskey should be more than a month. Call me old fashioned.
I'm guessing. It's probably maybe add a little complexity and subtlety to it rather than that harsh methylated spirits character that you get from that 1 month old whiskey that we all dabble in at home and that kind of things.
And whiskies are getting interesting. Have you seen the IPA whiskies that are coming out?
No, I haven't.
So Glenfiddich are releasing a bunch of
hopped ones. I've heard of a couple. Yeah,
I was having a look at one. It says aged in IPA barrels, which rose quite a few red flags to me.
Okay.
Like from the first fleet, like what,
Yeah.
When's the last time someone aged an IPA in a barrel? Like barrel aged IPA is not
Straight
there's
away.
a couple of them going around.
Yeah.
a barrel aged IPAs.
Yeah. Moondog just did one.
Yeah,
didn't
there's
they?
they're because that was a throwback to their original beer. I think they did one. Yeah, no, I've seen a few as well.
So,
yeah,
and there's a few go around, and then they age it, and then they re-dry hop it, and then they release it. But yeah,
So
it's not common.
what sort of malt profile would they be using there? It would have to be a darker. Would it be like a Cascadian dark ale, like a black IPA?
It wouldn't have to be. But yeah, you wouldn't think it was West Coast style and really
No.
pale, but just even your kind of older style American IPAs that had that.
The more malt flavours.
Amber,
I
to
guess
it,
if
and it-
English style IPAs as well, you've got more of an amber flavour to it. But yeah, I just think
it's probably not something I'm going to rush out to drink
No.
a lot of. I don't think it kind of defeats
But
the
at
purpose
a-
a little bit.
I'm just thinking, what brewery does enough barrel aged IPAs to be able to?
Use barrels that have
Use-
been used to age IPAs
Yeah.
to make a whiskey out of.
Unless it's
okay.
Glenfiddich barrels that's been aged, for whiskey, given to a brewery. They've chucked an IPA in there for a day, put it out.
But it's still not going to help because the IPA doesn't add any real character to the wood.
No, it wouldn't.
So yeah, you're just using old barrels, really.
Really, exactly.
Who would have thought? It sounds like a gimmick. Apparently, they must use gimmicks in whiskey as well,
Exactly.
as well as beer. Oh.
Who
would have thought?
I just like that even a whiskey's jumping on the IPA bandwagon.
Yeah, that's right. I'm waiting for the Nipah whiskey. That's what I'm. I'm not drinking any more whiskey
Cloudy
until there's
whiskey?
a Nipah whiskey followed by a Brute whiskey.
You probably won't have to
The
wait
Deer
long.
Velvet whiskey.
No. Surely, as I've spoken, that now a brewery has now started brewing one, or a distillery has now started making a Nipah whiskey based on what they've just heard me say. So
It's just tons of flour. They've just added.
Yeah, all of our
Bunch of
viewers
flour
just
is-
dropped off. They're all running off now. They're just making those.
Yeah, that's it,
They're
yeah.
making the whiskey. Yeah.
Hendo's already calculating the recipe. He'll put it up on Rockstar Brewer any minute now. This is a recipe for Nipah whiskey.
Yep, Nipah whiskey.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the Brute whiskey.
Yeah,
That'd be. It's all you taste is. Well, what would you
Alcohol.
taste? If that's it.
I
It's just
think-
alcohol.
Or
It's just ethanol.
maybe the barrel itself. I don't know.
you can either lick a barrel.
Yeah, you
or
just
have
lick.
one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like a barrel. Oh, that'd be awesome. So we alluded to it earlier. The one of our sort of I don't get to see you guys as much as I used to. We
It's a real
shared
shame because I like you too, Sean. So I would like to see you.
He didn't
more
actually say he liked you.
No, I
No, I'm just saying from my opinion. I assume everybody hates me anyway. So it doesn't, it's not, but there are some people I like.
And I used to work in the city, so I used to every now and again I'd get to the bar. I'd work 15 minutes from my house now, the suburbs, so I don't get to the bar as much. But the only time we really see each other is at beer festivals, which is usually, I don't know, like they're usually not going well.
What's gone wrong so far?
And it's usually like, okay, this is blown up or I've lost this. Do you have that in your toolkit phrase?
Yeah.
Borrowing.
I learned very early on that we needed a toolkit to take to beer festivals, and very soon every other brewery learnt that we had a toolkit at beer festivals.
And
as well.
that's the problem. Yeah.
So, but yeah.
They're all waiting for the invoices for the repairs.
I have the toolkit, but I never the one piece that I need is never in my damn toolkit. So I had that for the next brewing beer festival, and then something else bloody goes wrong. And I haven't been able to build a bar into a toolkit, because it's pretty much what you need.
That's about right too.
We're going up to Queensland for Beer Insider in a couple of weeks.
Yes. Indeed.
What are you? Have you got any beers that you're releasing up there?
Nothing getting launched. We're pretty much going to have, I think, our 6 beers. So the 4 core, the pale, the amber, the IPA, the milk stout.
Yep.
And as well, I think we're going to do the Saison and the double IPA. I think we've still got 1 or 2 kegs left of the double IPA, which is tasting great.
Here's the Saison.
Yeah, that's a retro old school saison,
is.
so that's unavailable in bottles anymore. But I thought I'd bring it to you because there's and rightly so. People talk about, and I spoke about earlier about freshness in beer, in terms of obviously the IPA event we did last week. But of course, there's some beer styles like a stout or a saison here, which actually can benefit and character can develop over age. So that's coming up for I think nearly 2 years old.
Yes.
So it would be So it would be interesting to get your thoughts.
Yeah.
Perhaps on a future podcast, you could have a Exit IPA or whatever and that kind of thing. Exit saison, I should say, from the bottle. But yeah, it's a style that works really well over time and that as well. So anyway, and I thought you should have some of the new with the pale and some of the old with the.
So, is it new saison or are you doing old saison?
It's new. It's new.
Have you ever aged a keg for a while and tried to tap it?
Yeah. I've had an old keg on with no problem at all.
Yep.
Certainly from that. I mean, saison's a little bit more carbonated, obviously, than your other sort of styles typically, or sort of a lot of them. So. A little bit out there, maybe, but it's flavour wise, it's fantastic, So it's
For our birthday, our 4th year birthday, we had at the bar. We had a friend who we'd given beers to at the start. He bought in a number 1 release, which was the first brew we ever did.
Yeah,
which was the saison.
Which was the saison. I remember that beer.
It was 4 years old, and he bought it into the bar and gone, "Look what I've kept." All right, so we tried it. It was great.
Yeah, wow. I've actually got some bottles of the first ever amber ale that I brewed over there.
Oh, really? Oh.
I don't know if we should open it.
I don't think it'll turn out that well.
It doesn't turn out as well as I think an aged saison would turn out.
You never know, possibly.
Oh, I've tasted one before. Every now and again, I break one open and go, whoa.
Maybe you should put it in that competition with that latest beer you brewed, kind of
which
thing.
is worse, yeah. One will taste like nails and one will taste like tea. The saison. That was the first one you brewed. I remember when you guys, because we shared a brewery years ago. It was ourselves. Hendo from Brewcott was there. Nat and Callum from Kaiju, and that was a huge amount of fun.
Absolutely.
But I remember when you guys were coming in and brewing that saison, and I was like, not a huge fan of saisons. I was like, oh well, we'll give this a go. And I just remember going that this just like completely changed my perception of saisons. I just couldn't. I was like, man, have I been missing out? And then I'm like, what other shit saisons have I been drinking? Like, this is what it is. And then the problem is though, then it leads you down when someone makes a really good beer like the saison you made is really really good. It kind of goes, oh, maybe I like saisons, and then you keep drinking other shit ones and going, fuck, I fucking hate these fucking beers. It's just always. I can't remember. There's another beer that happened. Oh, early on with Ambers, when I first started, like first craft beer, real craft beer I had was James Squire Amber Ale. And I was like, this is amazing. And then I just was seeking out Ambers and I could never find an amber like that. And then, so I was drinking IPAs, drinking other things, always trying to get, different beers. And then I went back to the James Squire Amber. I'm like, oh, bugger, this isn't even like James Squire Amber either.
No.
Which is why I ended up brewing an amber. Yeah, which is why I ended up brewing a very malt-driven amber ale.
Oh, your amber's great. It's easily one of my favourites going around,
thanks.
Kind of thing, without this wanting to be a mutual sort of, whatever session. It's like, it's a lovely drop, that amber.
Oh, thanks. It's, I'm surprised that it's still selling. Like, because for me, it was just, I enjoyed that style and I couldn't find a malt-driven amber that still had that sort of American hop flavour at the end, which is why I made it. Do you find the same thing with your beers? Like, do you drink many, other saisons?
DuPont. I drink saison DuPont when, occasionally. It is for me probably something that I drink more in the warmer times of the year.
Yep.
It's also something that goes really, really well with food, I think, sort of thing. So it's a lot of, I drink a lot more pale and IPA than I do saison personally, but I do like a really good saison. And if somebody sort of says, oh yeah, there's a really good saison, I'm always quite keen to try it, sort of thing. So,
back to beer festivals. I send so many people over to try your saison. at those festivals, I'm always like, have you had a Saison yet? Because usually what had happened is someone would come and drink my Bandit beer
Yep.
and go, oh, I haven't ever tasted anything like that. And I'm like, have you had a Saison? If you want something different, you got to go try this beer.
Yeah, we do similar, because especially if someone comes and tries the Scotch ale and likes it,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you like a smoky peated thing?
Yeah.
Go to Killsprocket, get some Bandit down.
Get some Bandit ale. So for the beer festivals, there can be a very interesting mixed bag of experiences.
Yes.
What are you thinking going into beer and cider? I was trying to describe it on one of the other podcasts. I'd like to hear your take on that kind of beer festival, because I don't think it's like other beer festivals that we usually do.
Yeah, it's look at it. Yeah, I mean it's an interesting one. I think it's a good exposure to a bunch of people. You know, there's a lot of people come along, and then there's also probably, I guess, because of it's quite a music focused or band focused beer festival.
And that's what I'm getting at. It's
people
not
in
so much a beer festival. I would think it's a music festival.
Yeah, music festival with
there's more and
brewers,
more
basically.
music coming into a lot of the festivals now.
Yeah.
So even like you look at the Adelaide Beer and Barbecue.
Yeah,
got
that's
quite
right.
into their music. And
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah.
Is that because it's a different license, like you were saying before?
That's what I heard. Did you
Okay.
hear the same
No,
thing?
I haven't heard
if
anything.
you have a beer festival, like for like Oktoberfest and stuff that they have in Queensland, to get a license, I believe you need to limit the amount of ABV available.
Right.
But if it's a music festival, you don't have the same restrictions.
I thought, are they still not? I thought they were limiting the alcohol percentage at
Beer and
Beer and
cider?
cider this year.
No, definitely not. I don't believe so.
Nice.
I think they're limiting what. I think they're saying once it's over a certain ABV, you're not
you can
allowed
only
to
do
give
the-
a
Can't do
full.
tasters.
Yeah, you can only
You can only do
tasters of
tasters. You can't give them a
that-
can or a
that-
full
That's it.
glass.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I don't think that's a legislative thing. I think that's just they don't want
That's an RSA
people
thing, maybe.
getting absolutely off chops, because beer and cider is probably the festival I hear the most. What's your highest ABV beer? It used to usually you get what tastes the most like VB, or what tastes the most like 4X.
Got anything like draft?
What tastes the
yeah.
got anything like draft? Yeah, exactly. Whereas that I found most people are like, what's the highest ABV?
Okay.
And we would always our kegs would blow from highest ABV down.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I remember that it not specifically necessarily about beer and cider kind of thing, but definitely from some beer festivals around. Yeah, the two questions you get asked, as Grum said, have you got something that tastes like draft, or I like a bitter. You know, and you know when they say that, they're meaning Victoria bitter or Melbourne bitter as opposed to
a bitter.
You know, a real one. And then like that's what's your strongest beer or what's your biggest beer kind of thing, sort of thing. So
yeah, and so do you mean in flavour or ABV?
Yeah,
because most of these would be bigger in flavour than you'd normally be drinking. Do you think beer and cider is probably the biggest beer festival that you do?
I think that we do probably. Yeah, absolutely. I'd imagine trying to
Because obviously you got Gabs, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a beer festival in the way of beer festivals.
No.
Geelong, what's Geelong? 2,000?
Yeah, I think it's definitely smaller, I think, than beer and cider. Yeah, for sure.
Beer and cider, I think they're predicting 12,000 on Saturday.
Over the
Really?
jeez.
Just on Saturday.
Wow. Really?
They've sold, currently, I think they've sold 7,000 tickets for the
Right.
Saturday alone.
Okay.
And I think 4,000 for Friday.
Right.
But they're
Okay.
expecting
12
8,000.
on the 12 on the Saturday itself.
That's what they're expecting. I think last year was 10,000.
Really, it's difficult to tell at these things because you don't know, like how many people are there. It's like it's busy, so you don't know. Like
Exactly.
those numbers seem huge to me, in terms of like what's.
Well, it's got a bigger footprint than most
Yeah.
festivals as well, because you've got the outside and the inside.
Yeah, that's true.
where the stages are.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. When as soon as the band plays, suddenly it just goes dead silent.
Yeah.
At the bar, and then in between is when you're getting you know, when you're getting slammed and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. And then the end of the music is 2 hours before the end of the festival.
Yep.
Or if you remember last year, like we were all getting ready for that. Like we'd all tap new kegs ready because 10,000 people were going to just suddenly descend on us. Music stopped and everyone fucked off.
Yeah, that's it.
It was like the end of a big day out. Everyone was like cramming to try to get on the buses. It's like, mate, we're still here.
Yeah.
Steve writes in. He says he's keen for the last hour of Beer and Cider once all the bands have finished. So,
well, Steve can come over to Killer Sprocket and Exit stands. We'll look
we are
after
next
Steve.
to each other. We are next to each other.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we'll look after
We'll
Steve.
look after
That's
you.
all right.
Steve, Steve D. Yeah, there you go.
Excellent.
That's I agree. I don't know why you would just like everyone's trying to get out. You've got clear reign of all the bars.
Yeah.
By that stage, everyone's tired, so you're probably going to get bigger pause as well because everyone's just like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't want to carry it.
Sean, that would
No,
not happen
no,
because
never would happen.
that would contravene responsible serving of alcohol.
I understand
And-
that.
yeah.
I'm saying we'd charge full price for a full pour. But,
No, of course.
yeah,
Of course. Yeah, that's right. Yes, exactly. No, you're right. It is a weird one. Like you think these people have come all this way to the beer festival and now you can walk straight up and choose anything you want.
Yep.
Or go and stand in a line to try and get into a Uber or a taxi.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, hang out for a while. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I like beer.
Yeah.
And I assume I've been drinking some, so I'm probably not driving home. So
Well, it's
I
beer
might sit
insider.
around.
It's not bands insider.
Yeah.
It's and do you know there are next year Beer and Cider is in Melbourne as well.
Yeah,
Heard
well,
about
I the only reason I know is because on their website it actually says.
Oh,
like
does
if you
it?
go in the top corner, it actually says
Ah.
Beer Insider. And I actually mentioned to somebody, I said, "Oh shit, Beer Insider's coming to Melbourne next year."
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see. I mean, where are they going to market that? Because there's only room for it that I think for so many beer festivals.
Yeah.
And Melbourne and Victoria already has a few around. You've got that one that's at Catani Gardens, and then those guys are doing another one. Is it in Flemington or Moonee Valley or something like that?
Moonee Valley.
Moonee Valley. So, and on top of all the other stuff, you know, that you get around. So it'll be interesting to see where it gets wedged in, because you can get one of the dangers of these things is it becomes a bit jaded for people. They go, well, there's another beer festival, so I'm not going to,
That's what happened with Sydney, taking on the Beer and Barbecue Fest that is really successful in Adelaide.
Yep.
They get a massive turnout, and sort of Sydney go, we'll do that too. And they expected all these people, and it's like, no one turned up. So
it was,
We've done a few festivals like that.
we've done we did a couple this year actually, and a lot of it was due to the weather. So they kind of say, well, they've pre-sold however many tickets, and they expect so many people to turn up.
Yep.
And if the weather's terrible, then they get very few walk-ins, and even half the people come, and then they go, I'm cold and wet, I'm going home.
There was a festival that we did. I don't think you came to that one, and it was absolutely bucketing down with
Yarra
rain.
Valley?
Yeah. And there was everyone was in the marquee, and the rain would break for like a minute, and everyone would just like dart out to all the bars, quickly grab a whole bunch of beers, and then off back in.
I was at the bar, and I was getting text
right.
messages from Grum, and I think Lauren saying, can you, if you're coming over, can you bring more beanies with you? Because it was like it was April.
In the first hour.
It's more beanies than beer.
it was April, and in true Melbourne style, you needed your winter jacket, and that kind of thing. At that,
it was unbelievable.
I remember the day well. There was water coming down. There was like Bridge Road had actually turned into a river for a moment
really?
there. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was
pretty
bucketing
impressive.
down. And I just. Yeah, I like. Damn, should have bought bottles. This is. I tapped kegs. So I was like,
actually, half the beer we sold was people in the middle of the day, because they allow takeaway sales. And say, I want to grab a 6-pack of this or grab those, and I'm going home, turning the heater on, and staying dry.
Well, we had bottles, but we were serving out of kegs, so we'd already tapped the kegs that morning. So I'm like, I should have just used the bottles, because we sold a lot of bottles as well for the same reason. People would be like, I'm going to grab them and go. It's very hard. Would you? I remember when, like, early on in my sort of craft beer journey, there was one beer festival, and that was it. That was Fed Square, and it was the craft beer showcase.
Yep.
And that was it, essentially. And then Geelong started, and then I think Bendigo or Ballarat, one of them.
So
Bendigo, maybe.
we were overseas for probably most of that period. So
Yeah.
I guess we discovered the Brussels Beer Festival was the first one.
Yeah.
And we went across for that. And so, this is brilliant. You get all the Belgian beers in the proper glasses in the Grand Platz
Wow.
Town Square. Just enjoy that. And over the years, it got busier and busier and busier, and
Yep.
it became less enjoyable. Effectively, that you had to line up, and then it had security. And
Yeah.
But originally, when we went to them,
Oh, yeah.
it was just a really nice vibe and no trouble.
Well, that's what's happening now with wine festivals.
Mm.
So there's a wine festival, Pinot Palooza, and every year, I'm pretty sure every year your wife invites us, and we just nothing, and something happens. We don't know to going. Have you actually been to Pinot Palooza?
No.
Because like everyone bailed.
Yeah.
But when it first started, I was talking to someone that had been every year, and when it started, it was this small thing. I think it was, it was like in a small hall. Like, it might have even been like Ormond Hall or something like that. It was like a small hall. And then it got busier and busier. And now it's just like, people just going and getting absolutely wrecked and blottoed and stuff like that. And it's, it used to be big pours, and now it's every winery has got those pouring gauges where instead of actually free pouring, they
That's
press it and it gives them the exact sample, because used to be the wine, the winemakers were there talking and enjoying, and now it's just like the booth babes, you know what I mean? It's just the people that are just, that's kind of where it's gotten to. But there's not a huge amount of wine festivals. Whereas beer festivals, there's more than, that's why I think last time I counted it was about 20 in Melbourne.
Yeah, well, I actually went to a wine one a few weeks ago, the Coonawarra Roadshow. They take around, just from the Coonawarra region, they take around the country, basically.
Yeah.
And that was really, really nice, and it was great. It was like, it was about $50 a ticket, but you actually did get that engagement. You could engage with the winemakers or, the distributors, people, some great, tour places and that and everything over there. So it was just a terrific, so I really enjoyed that. And it was actually it was a nice experience to do a wine thing because I really like wine, but there's only so much room in my life and body for alcohol, and it seems to be made up by the majority of beer, or Nipah whiskey when that comes out, obviously. But
of course.
So the wine
and the
was
the double pack,
the
double sample pack,
and then you mix them together. You do cocktails, you do whiskey beer cocktails. Yeah. But it was really, really enjoyable. But you're right. I mean, it's beyond that. I can't think of too many.
They do grape grazing at Yarra Valley.
Do they still do that though? I thought they cancelled that.
Did they?
Because people were getting like crazy messy on the grape grazing thing in the Yarra Valley. Like that started off the same sort of thing. It was like, you go have a nice, have some nice wines, and then have a nice,
have some cheese and
a nice leisurely, nice leisurely sort of lunch. And then now it's just like drunk people jumping in dams. And the wineries are like, we don't want the grape grazing thing. It takes us forever to clean our dam after these puppets come in. I think they cancelled. I think they it was Rochford Winery, I think, was the final destination on grape grazing, and they killed it and then brought in that Day on the Green thing now. So I think that's the replacement is a music festival.
Yeah, right. Okay,
so do you think? Do you think maybe music festivals are the new beer festival? Maybe if a music, like in America, I think we follow a lot of the trends of the States. It seems that's the new trend in the States, is that a music festival will pair with craft beer, and they'll have the bands and the craft beer
and
tent.
Also sporting events as well, and sporting stadiums. I hope so.
Yeah.
I think for sporting stadiums, sporting events, I think are going to be different, unless you're in WA where you've got Gage Road has got the two big stadiums now, which is amazing. But I don't see stadiums signing a craft beer deal.
Just because they get too much through.
Well, right. TV, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? You've got...
I tend to agree. I'd love it to happen, but I don't expect to be drinking anything, too adventurous at the
Newstead
MCG.
have got a couple of the rugby deals as well.
Yeah, Newstead have done really well.
Which is good.
You're right, they do too. They've got some rugby deals. But
Queensland Rugby Union, I think.
Colonial got
Essendon.
Yeah, Essendon
but
games
they don't,
or something.
But they don't play that. But they don't serve the beer at Essendon games.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they've got their sponsor.
Yeah.
And what they do is they play the Essendon games in the bar, and serve their beer, which you don't need a sponsorship to do that, as you well know. you can appeal to to a certain football demographic, and do deals and do things like that, and be that location without forking over the money. I think with Colonial though, the deal is that if it's in the members, is it the members section? Or there's something. There's some area where that's closed off where you can get Colonial beer.
Okay. I thought it was being served, not on the mass scale, but
it's served in a room.
Some events.
And in events. Like if Essendon organise an event, I think they have Colonial on, but not at the games.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. The Gage Road deal, from what I've read, is completely kind of cash flow neutral. Like they don't lose money, they don't make money, but it's that brand awareness.
Exposure,
I would hazard a guess that Colonial's not making money off the Essendon deal.
Yeah, no, maybe not. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we'd love to get to. I think I can't remember. I could be wrong here. It's one of the stadiums. I'm not sure if it's where the San Diego Padres play or something, but I think there's 3 craft bars in the stadium. Like Stone have their own, and then there's another 2.
Oh, what?
Now that's that's fantasy land for I mean, I'd volunteer to go and watch double headers. When it comes to that, I mean, that's just so.
Yeah.
It's certainly not in my lifetime. We'll never get to that here.
If you could have a craft beer bar in a major stadium, I'd go to a Miley Cyrus concert just to bloody serve.
Well, yes, absolutely.
You'd sell so much beer to all the dads.
Yeah.
To all the dads,
But we went to the Foo Fighters gig, and Young Henry's.
Yeah, I think
it was, made the Foo Town beer, and they weren't serving that, and I just to me, I'm like, why not? Like you could go to Cherry Bar, which is nowhere near the bloody stadium, and drink that Foo Town beer, but why wouldn't you? I don't understand that whole thing of you can be the official beer of the tour. Oh, well, can I serve the beer? No, you can't. You can't do that. Yeah. We did a music festival very, very early on in the Killer Sprocket.
Okay.
Story. We did a metal festival, and we were the official beer of the metal festival, and we turned up, and it was across 2 different pubs.
Okay.
One pub was amazing, and had our beer on tap and was promoting it. Actually had the beer before, weeks before the event, and after the event, and it was probably in large part to my sales rep. The time was Matty, was selling my beer, and he said to him, "Hey, we're the official sponsor of this gig that you're doing. You should probably put us on your bar early." And the guy was, "Oh yeah, right, that makes sense." So thanks to Matty for that one, because I would have lost my shirt if I didn't do that. The other bar was like, "Well, we're not going to serve it beforehand, but you can, we'll tap it on the night." So we turn up, kegs in hand, ready to go. Like, the boss said we're not tapping it. You can put bottles. You can do bottles. We're like, all right, great. So when I grabbed a whole bunch of bottles, came back, and they went, actually, no, he doesn't want the bottles anymore either. So I'm like, well, we're the official beer of this event. What can we do? Oh, you can set up in the courtyard, and serve there. So we had a jockey box, so was serving beer in the courtyard. But it was, you couldn't sell. We couldn't sell the beer in the courtyard. We could give free samples in the courtyard.
Ah, fantastic.
I said, so if I give them a free sample, then what?
Yeah.
If they like it, they can't buy the beer. So what's the point of a free sample? They're like, it's on in the other venue. They could go to that venue. I'm like, it's not really a selling point to be like, oh, you really like that? Go down there. So we were doing it, and people would come and go, oh, yeah, two Carlton drafts. No, it's not. It's just this Killer Sprocket beer. Like, what's that? I'm like, well, it's it's a craft beer, blah, blah. Homebrew. No, it's not homebrew. It's a thing. Well, where is it? I'm like, well, you can
in my garage.
Like they're like, all right. So if and they drink, like, okay, give me a glass of that. I'm like, well, I can't sell you a glass. If you go to the pub that's down the road, that's also doing the metal festival, they will have it. And I was just like, this is bloody ridiculous. So I said to the guy, I'm like, all right, I understand that your boss has said you're not going to sell the beer. that I can't put bottles in your fridge and you're not going to tap it. But I'm standing here giving away samples of my beer, which is fine. It's marketing. That's great. But I think if someone wants to give me tips for being able to do this, I should have a tip jar. And he went, yeah, I guess that's okay. I'm like, all right, sweet. So I just made it a big bucket and I said, recommended tip, $5 for a beer.
Nice.
And I actually walked away with, I think we broke just even on that.
Good. That's pretty good.
And,
I like that. That's
yeah, because it was just like, it was just the day after my son was born as well. So
bloody hell.
Luckily my wife is very supportive of Killer Sprocket. Otherwise I probably would have been in a lot of trouble. But
Peter Anderson wants to know, is Exit Bar at the tennis? Are you going to have an Exit Bar at the tennis?
Well, yeah, I know, Peter. It's generally a common question that Peter comes out with around about this time of the year because he's a big tennis fan himself, and he wants to make sure and can rest assured that during the tennis, I will absolutely make sure that all of the Australian Open is visible to people on all the screens. I'll even turn the volume up on the commentary as well for him if he likes as well. So,
have you got any deals during the tennis?
Eddie, yeah, probably. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I'm not. You've
got some good footy deals when the footy's on.
Well, this is an example of how well organised I am in terms of my deals. So yesterday I started with a promo for the whole month of September, basically during the final series. If you're a Richmond member or a Melbourne member or a Richmond 3121 resident, we're going to do deals on Exit Pale Ale and a few other things during the month.
Yep.
And I then got a text from a mate of mine saying, "Oh, good, I'm coming in tomorrow. I hope you got plenty of pale." And I thought that got me thinking, how much pale have I actually got in the bar? And so I went into the keg room and then realised, that half a keg of pale I've got, that's probably not going to do the job this weekend. So fortunately, thanks to, and a big shout out to our friends at Grape and Grain in Moorabbin, they'd taken a few kegs of our pale this week, and I was like, they can probably let me have one this weekend. So I had to nip down there this morning and pick up a keg from them. So in terms of actually planning things months in advance, chances of me actually having that, I won't be able to tell you anything about the tennis deal. I'm sure we will have a tennis deal on.
It's a secret. We'll
yeah,
let you know.
yeah.
That's the official line.
Some half-raw sausages.
Shout out to the two Steves that are talking about how wrecked they're going to get at Beer and Cider. That's you can check out the comments later. Yeah,
is that Hyder Hendo right there? Or?
One of the Hendo, he commented a little whiles back.
Yeah, no, yeah. He's probably coming to get wrecked as well. So.
Yeah, he's
Oh, you haven't seen? Yeah, Hendo's up in Queensland, isn't he?
Yeah.
Rockstar Brewing.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's him. That's him to a T.
That'll be good. It'll be good to catch up with Hendo and stuff. Have you got...
No, there's 3 Steves, though.
3 Steves?
There's 3 Steves, yeah.
Or 2 Steves and a Hendo?
No, there's 3 Steves.
3 Steves.
2 of them
That's
are talking about
one.
how wrecked they're going to get at Beer and Cider. And Hendo...
Responsibly?
Yeah, responsibly, yeah. Because it says...
Responsibly wrecked.
It says drink responsibly on the bottom of our screen.
Musically wrecked.
Yeah.
Not beer wrecked.
There's a lot. There seems to be a lot of Steve. We actually have 2 of the people that work in our bar are called Steve.
Oh,
and
really?
We have lots of Steve. One of our best customers is called Steve. So it must be the new craft beer name. I think that's going around.
It's
if you're Steve, you know.
Because it used to be like Brendan or Dave.
And Dan. There was always lots of Dans. Scott as well, I think. I think there was a few Scotts as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think, but yeah, you're right. Oh, Dave, I mean, obviously. You know, there's
a hell of a lot of... Dave's are usually behind the bar, though.
That's true. Yeah.
It's a lot of Daves.
Yeah. No, that's...
Behind the bar. Are you looking forward to any beers at Beer Insider?
Yeah, well, you've got a new pale coming out, I believe, so I'm going to have. I'm going to look forward to that. Look, it's one of those things that look, as you sort of said before, it's one of the great chance for those of us that have breweries and don't get to see each other as much as we would like. It's always fun to catch up and just have a beer with each other, basically. So, I mean, I guess I haven't targeted one particular beer because, to be honest, I haven't really had time to think about that. But absolutely, I'm definitely looking forward to having a few.
I'm hoping that the cheese man is as far away from our stand as possible.
You've just brought nightmares to me now. Christ,
thanks for reminding us.
Yeah,
that was the worst. That was probably the worst experience. That was like, because people come here and go, "What's that smell?" Like, Well, it's not us.
No.
Look behind you.
Burnt cheese.
Yeah, it was the guy that was, he was selling like melted cheese. People are like, oh, you got to try it. It tastes delicious. I'm like, I could not go near it. I
don't reckon I ate cheese for a month
Yeah.
after beer and cider last year. It was Jesus. It was disgusting.
It was pretty bad. Like, did you see? He had like this iron thing set up that was melting cheese and stuff.
It was putrid shit. It
Oh,
really was.
We've set off the
cheddar.
Steves now. Steves are awesome. Hendo can't wait to see you all at Beer and Cider, he says. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just going to...
Go the Steves.
Yeah, that's because Steve...
We set them off now.
Yeah, that's it.
Hendo can't wait to see it.
You're gonna have like 100 subscribers tomorrow that are all called
They're all
Steve,
Steve,
basically.
yeah.
So you should do a special promo. You know,
Yeah.
like if you subscribe to your YouTube channel as Steve, then, you know, kind of thing, then you'll give them, I don't know.
Give him something.
Yeah, give them some. Give them an old Exit Saison bottle or something like that. I don't know.
We should get Steve T-shirts made up.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
Or I'm not Steve.
Go the Steves.
Just that one that says I am Steve,
Steve
and then
and
I'm not Steve. That's it. You only need to have 2 shirts then.
And then the logo.
I'm with Steve. It's got the arrow.
Yeah. I'm not Steve, but I know him.
Yeah. I think he's over there.
Yeah.
My wife and I are Steve.
Yeah.
Hendo's looking forward to us going to Beer and Cider because he doesn't have to pay for beers.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
Hendo's looking forward to it. That's one of the best things is as a brewer is going to beer events and just drinking.
God, yeah.
It's even better if you don't have your own brewery anymore. That you can just you don't have to have the stress and worry of it.
Well,
Hendo's real. He's like a pig in shit.
You can finally enjoy it. Eh?
Yeah, you can just enjoy it.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, things aren't going well. Give us another one of your beers.
Yeah. That's really sucks, man. That sounds terrible. Gee, that's,
I remember
really
that.
real. Sorry for you.
That was
Hey,
terrible.
can I have a can of double IPA, please? Kind of thing.
Oh. All right. I think that is all for this week.
Right, yep. Marcus is not a Steve, he says.
Marcus is not a Steve.
He's not getting a T-shirt. We're not having Marcus T-shirts.
We can't make
that's
T-shirts for
ridiculous.
everybody.
I'm a Marcus.
Or can we? Do like a Coke thing where you just have the name.
Yeah.
They do that with the labels.
You can, actually, that's a font I've got to download. I'm sure you could do the Coke font.
The Coke
with the
font?
ribbon thing. Oh, it's like it's my latest hobby, downloading fonts.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, to make just to basically make up shit for the bar and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
You
get
can
that.
go into and you go, yeah.
I check out fonts all the time.
Yeah. Defont.com. Oh, it's awesome.
Well, yeah.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a graphic design thing. I don't know. But
Yeah, it is. It's like I wanted a font for the hop event last, but I wanted it to be like Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Sort of like the title writing for that. So you Google Friday the 13th font and you'll go, oh yeah, cool, yeah, beautiful. That one looks good. I'll download that and use that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Defont.
Yeah, Defont. Or there's tons, but Defont is probably my preferred
Your preferred
website.
font
Your
thing?
default font. Right.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
All right, there's a plug for Defont.
Yeah. And we've got some demand for that gross beer.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
All right.
People want free beer. Who would have
I'll
thought?
tell you what.
free gross beer.
I'll tell you what. I will put a bottle of that terrible beer in my suitcase and I will take it to Queensland. It might even taste better after it's been in the hold of a plane. I will
Okay.
bring it there. So any mashing listener that wants to try some of this terrible beer, I will have it
Sounds
behind
like-
the bar
yeah.
and you can try it.
Sounds like Steve D wants it. Steve Duvall, yeah.
Yeah, you want some terrible. It is. I'm not saying it's a terrible beer, like to be like self-deprecating and being like, oh well, I'm really a good brewer, but this one's not up to standard. It is.
It's pretty fucking
horrific.
terrible.
You tasted it.
Yeah, it's pretty.
How
fucking
bad is it?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking terrible.
Like
It's
a
hard,
shot
yeah.
glass is probably the most I've ever seen anyone
Yeah.
drink of this beer.
And
Wow.
and Dave
That's really shit.
Dave P
You can taste.
says,
I'll bring it up for you.
Excellent.
You can
Awesome.
taste
Da-
this beer. It
sorry,
is
Dave P.
horrible.
Dave P says not all Daves serve behind the bar.
Okay, cool.
So just so we know,
But it helps though.
it helps to be Dave. Yeah.
It does help to be.
If
Dave
you want to get a
in
job
the beer
behind a
industry.
bar, call yourself Dave. Basically, is one of the.
And as a
one of the
bar
things
owner,
straight
you
away.
would,
I immediately look for Daves or Steves. James.
Do you want to hire my brothers?
Oh
They're
shit!
both
Yeah, I
Dave or
just
Steve.
realised that. Actually, now no more Steves
I've
and
got two brothers,
Dave.
Steve and a David.
Yeah. No, we're not having.
They're called Knackers and Davis, so they don't qualify.
No, that's probably right. God, I didn't even bloody think of that. Jesus.
Dave wants to know when Exit are doing single kegs for what is it?
Outgang.
Outgang.
Well, when we get the the thing. Well, we've got the kind of thing. We'll start to do more, particularly as we go into the thing. We'll start to do some on. Plus, I'm going to have the Dante, our hop Randall. He'll be making regular appearances at Outgang soon as well.
Awesome.
So what we can maybe do is put the worst beer in history that you've brewed and
Yes.
put through something in the Randall to make it taste even worse.
Okay.
See, we could do a challenge and go, let's amp it up a notch and go, right, rather than just do a really shit beer, we're going to do a really, really shit beer.
We're going to
think
amp
maybe-
this shit to 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next
I think-
level terrible.
Yeah, I like it, yeah.
Maybe some really bad coffee beans, like some really bad coffee as well, so that you're getting that kind of tweakiness of like, this is really bad.
Well, just Moccona.
Moccona?
Or international roast.
Yeah,
Sure,
international
actually,
roast.
international
Doesn't
roast.
it need to be
it's
a
gotta
bean though? Like I don't know if you could put I don't know if you could.
I don't
put
like the idea. I mean, purely because being a coffee lover, anything that potentially could turn me off coffee is really scary to me. I don't want to like the idea. See, imagine this and I'm thinking, oh, this is coffee. I'm going, and then turning me off coffee.
Like what burnt cheese did to you.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's right.
I couldn't eat cheese for ages after that. It was the worst.
I mean, people think, oh yeah, he's just making up. I think no. That was seriously. If you're going to beer inside of this here and the cheese thing, you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You'll
smell him.
Fucking disgusting.
That's why I was checking the.
So is he anywhere near us or?
I don't think so. That's a really good point. I better check that. I don't think. I was that.
We need to get some of that shit that when the dudes go into like murder scenes with dead bodies that have been, and then they put the shit under their nose so they can't smell.
Yeah,
That's what we need if the cheese dudes around to sort of need that.
It's not like I cannot believe how that permeated that place. Like, how many stands do we have in that corner? There was probably about 10 of us. Yeah. And you could smell it from every single stand. It was horrible.
It was, It's, you've kind of made me depressed because I'd forgotten about it, and now it's only a couple of weeks to go. And
now you're thinking he might.
I'm going to eat as
be
much
someone
cheese as I can in the next couple of weeks because I know there's no way I'm going to be able to eat it for like the rest of October.
Yeah.
Just blocks of cheese.
Well, Stella complained. Stella actually went and said, "You cannot put that fucking guy near us again."
Yeah. Well, no. To be fair, Stella's pretty good at getting that thing sorted, so I reckon she'll be all over it this year. So
let's have a look.
She's
Do you even remember? Like, it wasn't called Stinky Cheese. What was the place
called?
Stinky.
I can seriously smell it now. It's coming back to me. I'm like,
I don't think he's there.
No. Oh well, that's good.
There is some amazing bloody food lineup.
Okay. What's the food lineup?
You got Hoi Polloi.
Oh yeah.
Hellmouth Diner, which is.
That's going to be chilly, is it?
What have you been Hellmouth Diner? That's the.
I don't get out much.
So that's the Netherworld.
Oh right, okay,
kitchen.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Hellmouth Diner. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Alliance House, Tippler's Tap. Oh my god, I hope they have the wings. Hope Tippler's brings his wings.
I can't remember. There was something I was getting last year that I really, really liked. Maybe it was. I can't remember.
Yeah.
If you say it, I reckon I'll.
Charlie's Nuts.
Okay.
Awesome name. It says Ice File. I don't know what the heck that is. I don't think that's a cheese. Little Havana, Knocky Brothers. Oh no, Salt Meats Cheese. Was it Salt Meats Cheese?
I don't know.
Well, there is a cheese there. All right, so let's see. Where's he?
There's a cheese.
68. Let's see where he is.
Steve's getting those shirts made up.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have some Steve's.
If you come to the Killer Sprocket or Exit stand wearing a I am Steve or I'm not Steve or I'm with Steve, you'll just get a great sense of smug self-satisfaction. I was going to give you free beer, but no.
You can't not allowed to give free beer.
No, we're not allowed to because we're responsible. But we'll give you a high five if you come up and say you were Steve, and you listen to the podcast.
Legally, technicalities.
So there's one cheese place, and it is outside.
Okay.
Which is good.
So depending on where the wind's blowing.
Why would you put food inside?
Yeah,
any of the food.
Any of the cooked food.
It just sounds like it smelled like an apartment building or something.
So if an apartment building was made of feet, it's what it would smell like.
Yeah. And really fucking putrid feet too. Not nice smelling feet. That's for sure.
No, feet that have been marching for years. They've actually updated Awesome. They've actually updated the map, so
Okay.
you have got a big stand now,
Oh, have we? Woohoo.
Yes. and we're next to you, which is nice.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah.
You had a really good setup in your bar. I liked your shiny light. Have you bringing your light logo kind of thing and all that kind of thing?
Yeah,
what's-
so cousin Tom is building a brand new bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he went
Nice.
after the last Beer Insider. He went to Canada and got rid of all of his shit, including the bar that he built me.
Oh,
So he said, "It's all right. I'll build you a new one." So I'll be as excited as everyone else seeing this bar because I haven't actually seen it, but I'm expecting big things
Excellent.
from him. So
well, last year's was pretty impressive setup. So
Yeah.
and that's good because you're next to us, so you'll drag everybody in. That's good.
yes,
so I
well,
can-
you're
I
on the
can
corner.
just-
Yeah, we're right there. So that'll be
All right.
that'll be awesome. I can't wait. That's going to be so good. Yeah,
Nice.
I enjoy Beer Insider. I enjoy
Yeah.
the Queensland beer scene and seeing people.
Yeah, I do too.
There's
I think
one person or two people that are that go to these festivals, and their whole thing is the free beer. You know, I'm sure you've dealt with these kind of people before. They come and they go, "Can I just have a try?" Like that's that's the point. That's 2 tokens, mate. Yeah, but I just want to try it. Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
That's why we're here, mate.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. Yeah, but what if I don't like it? Well, then you've wasted $2. Like, just why should I? Like, it's yeah. But there are these 2 people, and they will con their way around the place trying to get free beers off everybody, and the way they do it is just winding, like just like talking and talking and talking and talking and just trying to like wear you down.
Yeah, you
till
go.
you just give them a
Yeah,
beer
just
so
go,
they will
oh,
fuck
God,
off.
if I give this guy a beer, will he fuck off from my stand so I can serve some real customers or something? like
So
that?
you're actually talking about two people,
There are
not two types of people.
No, there are 2
like actual
So you
people.
actually know them, okay?
Yeah.
Well, we'll know who they are, like
because I went out. Well, this is the thing, right? So I know these 2 people, and when I see them, I'm like, no, I'm not. I know who you guys are. You do this to me every freaking time, because they will come and do it, and then they'll fuck off, and then they'll come like an hour later, and they'll wait till you're busy, and then they'll try to do it, right? So I know them. So they watch for when I leave my stand, and then they come and go for the. So if it's Andrea or cousin Tom working behind the bar, they'll go and hit them up.
Do you have the printed up mugshots of them and
Oh,
say, "Do
mate,
not give
I
them
will.
free beer"?
You'll know. I guarantee you'll know them. If you see a photo, you'll be like, I fucking know those 2. They ripped me out of beer as well, and then talked my ear off about it.
Are we going to get one of those? We should get one of those, like the Signs of Grum just said then about people put Hendo's face on it, and just say, you know, and do not serve this man any.
Hand that out to all the breweries.
So
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
so 3
just have a
T-shirts.
thing, yeah.
I'm Steve. I'm not Steve, but I know him,
Yeah.
and I'm no Hendo.
Yeah, something like that. I think the Hendo one would be pretty popular up there. I can
I'm not
imagine, so-
Hendo?
Yeah,
But I know him.
Yeah,
Everyone would have
Yeah.
that T-shirt.
yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming on the show. If guys help us out, if you can subscribe on YouTube, rate us on iTunes or your favorite podcasting app.
Yep.
It'd mean a huge amount to us. On ratings on iTunes means other people will find us. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening to us. For Mashed In, I'm Sean Ryan.
Matt Lake.
Phrase.
And Grum.
Awesome.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Drink responsibly.